The quiet night in the barracks of the South Korean military's 5th Division was completely disrupted. Jungkook, a member of BTS currently undergoing mandatory military service, chose an unexpected moment to reveal something shocking. Jimin, his teammate for over a decade, didn't speak afterward. Not immediately. Even after tense minutes, he remained silent, with an expression that was hard to decipher. Who is the woman that made Jungkook finally speak up? And why did that statement make Jimin so emotional? This event quickly sparked a wave of speculation among fans and entertainment industry observers. Not only because Jungkook rarely shares his private life openly, but also because this moment occurred in such an intimate and high-pressure environment, the military. In a system that upholds discipline and silence, a personal confession can be a major explosion that shakes emotions, both for the person making the confession and those who hear it. Jimin, known to be very close and protective of Jungkook, looked deeply affected. But why? An anonymous internal source from the military stated that the incident wasn't the result of an open conflict. There was no argument, no raised voices. Only Jungkook's calm voice started it all. "Young, there's something I want to tell you," he said. And then the confession came out, about a woman he had known for a long time and who meant a great deal to him. Instantly, the room, previously filled only with the sound of air conditioning, fell into a suffocating silence. Jimin didn't react immediately. No laughter. No quick response typical of close friends who understand each other. Only a blank stare, silence, and a prolonged stillness. Fans began to speculate. Some believed the woman was a significant person from Jungkook's past, someone who might have been close personally, but never publicly announced. Names began circulating in online communities, ranging from former HYB trainees to staff who had appeared in behind-the-scenes videos. However, an industry source provided an unexpected clarification. The woman is not a celebrity. She is someone who works behind the scenes, close to BTS's work environment, and known to a small number of HYB staff. However, what was more surprising wasn't who the woman was, but why Jungkook chose to discuss her now. Korean pop culture analysts believe the timing of this confession cannot be separated from the psychological pressure leading up to the end of his military service. At times like this, many people start to reflect, rearrange priorities, and try to clarify personal relationships that are important to them, said an analyst from the Seoul Arts and Media Institute. Perhaps this wasn't about opening wounds, but healing them for Jimin. However, the confession seemed to be an emotional blow. According to military daily reports, for 2 days after the incident, Jimin showed a striking change in behavior. He was quieter, avoided conversations, and often looked withdrawn during breaks. A military instructor noted an unusual decline in morale. This wasn't just the usual reaction of a friend. There was a deeper, unexpressed feeling. Jungkook seemed to realize the impact. A few days later, he started to reach out again. He invited Jimin to eat together, talked more than usual, and even seemed to try to lighten the mood with their typical jokes. However, according to the testimony of a soldier who witnessed their interaction, their closeness is still there, but there's an invisible distance, like something is unresolved. Speculation increased when Jungkook uploaded a photo with Jimin on his personal fan community platform. The photo looked ordinary, 2 men in uniform against a military forest backdrop. But the caption, "The one who knows everything will remain," invited thousands of interpretations. Many fans interpreted it as an apology, or even an affirmation that their bond remains strong, even after being tested by the recently revealed reality. However, many saw another side, that this wasn't about love, betrayal, or burdensome secrets. It's about transition, about 2 friends growing up in an extraordinary situation. Adults have the right to have a private life. Even the closest friends don't always know everything. But what matters is mutual trust, wrote a senior BTS fan on an online forum. Even so, many also felt that something was still being hidden. Jimin's expression in the photo, according to some fans, showed an unhealed emotional wound. His gaze isn't ordinary. Something is missing, commented a popular account on social media. This phenomenon also opened a broader discussion about how the public perceives their idols. Is it true that in the K-pop world, private lives must be hidden to maintain image? And if they choose to be open, is the public ready to accept it without prejudice? Undeniable is the huge impact caused by Jungkook's simple confession. In the highly structured and controlled Korean entertainment world, honesty can be a double-edged sword. It can heal, but also hurt. It can strengthen bonds, but also create cracks in relationships that once seemed perfect in the public eye. Now, with their military service nearing its end, attention is focused on how Jungkook and Jimin's relationship will evolve. Will they return to the same closeness? Or will a new distance emerge due to unresolved tension? Perhaps this isn't the end of their story. Perhaps this is just a new phase in a relationship that is already very complex and deep. But one thing is certain, the public has witnessed the human side of two figures often considered perfect. And for a moment, we are reminded that even stars have wounds, secrets, and a need to be heard. But before we swallow all this information raw, we should pause and ask, what do we actually know, and what do we only assume? The world of social media and digital virality often reinforces narratives that aren't necessarily true. Anonymous sources, edited video clips, and speculative comments can shape inaccurate perceptions. Is it possible that this whole story, so moving and emotionally draining, is just one example of how our feelings can be manipulated by narratives crafted for mass consumption? Therefore, it's important for us, as consumers of information, to remain skeptical yet open-minded, to enjoy these stories without losing our compass of logic and reason, and to keep asking, who is spreading the story, and what do they want to achieve? Because ultimately, whether it's a love story, friendship, or personal confession, it must remain within the boundaries of reality and public responsibility. Jungkook has chosen to be open. Jimin has responded with emotional honesty. Now it's our turn to respond with thoughtful consideration. However, before we get too lost in the emotional story between Jungkook and Jimin, let's step back for a moment. Let's ask, are we really witnessing a genuine confession? Or could this be a carefully constructed narrative designed to evoke emotions and attract public attention? It should be emphasized that the information presented in this article comes from various online sources: viral TikTok videos, short, cut YouTube clips, speculative tweets on X, formerly Twitter, and entertainment media articles that sometimes don't cite primary sources. With such a basis, how far can we trust the authenticity of this story? Have we become victims of an increasingly prevalent phenomenon? Digital drama designed not to convey truth, but to create a sensation? Consider this. Why did this story emerge when Jungkook and Jimin's military service is nearing its end? Precisely when public expectations for their comeback to the entertainment world are peaking. These questions are not only worth asking, but must be pondered. Who spread this story first? What are their motivations? Are there financial or strategic gains behind the spread of this collective emotion? If you feel moved, touched, or even angry reading this story, that's natural. But pause and ask yourself, are my emotions being manipulated? Does this narrative truly lead me to the facts? Or does it simply wrap assumptions in dramatic language? In the age of algorithms that prioritize sensation, many media outlets and content creators are more interested in clicks and virality than accuracy and journalistic ethics. Could we have been trapped in consuming a story that isn't entirely true? Imagine if this story were entirely fabricated. What would be the impact on Jungkook and Jimin's reputations? More than that, what would be the impact on public trust in the media, on the fan community, and even on interpersonal relationships that are consumed by the masses?